Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week handed over 50 new assorted vehicles to the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA. The fleet, which cost $1.3 billion, includes crane and tipper trucks as well as compactor trucks and smaller units referred to as Scouts. These have significantly improved the agency's capacity to tackle bulky waste and go into communities with narrow lanes. Prime Minister Holness points out that renewing the fleet of the NSWMA has been consistent since 2016.
In 2016, when we just took over, we were able to do 4 garbage trucks. In 2017, we were able to do 13 garbage trucks. In 2018, we did 17 garbage trucks. In 2019, we did 11 garbage trucks. Steadily investing and renewing the fleet. And even during the pandemic in 2020, we were still able to invest in our fleet. We bought 20 new garbage trucks even during the pandemic. In 2022, we made our largest acquisition yet, with 50 new garbage trucks.
The NSWMA's fleet now stands at 165, and Mr. Holness has given assurance that more investments will be made to increase the agency's capacity even further.
As the economy continues to be stable, and as it continues to grow, we are going to make a priority out of allocating the dividends of that growth to ensuring that we have the capabilities of keeping our municipalities, our townships, keeping your road, your beaches, your parks, your markets clean. So, what you're seeing here is a significant investment in keeping Jamaica clean.
Meanwhile, Mr. Holness says the $2.5 billion Clean Up Jamaica campaign will have a targeted plastic removal component which will be incentivized. The Prime Minister says the program, which was mentioned in his budget presentation in March this year, is being structured to determine the implementation process. Approximately 90% of the garbage that litter the roadways are plastics, and this program aims to reduce that figure significantly.
So yes, there will be a component to remove bulky waste. There will be a component to generally clean important corridors, parks, and critical urban municipalities, town centers as you call them. But there will be a component where we will pay people to collect plastic and we will buy the plastic back from them. That's the objective. So in other words, we will create a market for waste plastics.
Mr. Holness says the economic opportunity to be derived from this initiative should spur people into action to collect waste plastics or properly store empty containers for sale to recycling plants. The $2.5 billion Clean Up Jamaica campaign will run for several budget cycles to treat with deep-rooted garbage pollution issues.
It is not going to be like other cleanup programs that we have had. This program will have institution and endurance, meaning we'll put a structure in place to make sure that it is run by rules, it is transparent, it affords participation of the citizens, and the objectives are transparent and understood.
According to Mr. Holness, the collection of plastic waste will also support the garbage separation program being carried out on a small scale by the NSWMA in a few communities.
The intention is to increase the capabilities of the NSWMA so that we can now make it a national requirement for garbage separation. We want to be able to pack our plastic waste separately from our organic and other forms of waste.
Prime Minister Holness also made time last week to acknowledge the staff of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, MEGJC, for their collective contribution to national development.
You are an important part of the success of the ministry. The success of the government, the success of the country is you.
As head of MEGJC, Mr. Holness was addressing the General Staff meeting on Wednesday. He reminded the workers of the progress made by the government to reduce the unemployment rate and the country's debt-to-GDP ratio, stabilizing inflation and achieving economic recovery after COVID-19.
The point is that Jamaica today is not the same as Jamaica of the last 4 or 5 decades. Significant changes have been made in the structure of our Jamaican economy.
Closing out the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness empowered the 2024 cohort of the Youth Summer Employment Program. Over 10,000 young people between the ages of 17 and 29 years old will gain employment during the summer. They will be paid $60,000 during the period.
The job that you can get right now, do that job and do it well. It will become the stepping stone for the job you eventually want. And in fact, the job you get now, when you display the critical skills, discipline and ethic, it recommends you for the job you want.
YSEP 2024 is part of the broader government initiative to create summer job opportunities for the youth.
My experience of YSEP last year also gave me practical lessons about being a professional. The work had to be done on time, we had to report to work on time, the tasks had to be done properly. These things are just as important as studying for a degree or passing exams.
Prime Minister Holness was also at the National Stadium to support the athletes vying for a spot on the national team for the Paris Olympics in a few weeks. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.